A very good evening, everybody. Welcome to midweek football in the NPL New South Wales men's competition. What a fixture we've got for you tonight, full of recent history and more than a bit of feeling. Manly United hosting Blacktown.
two teams out onto the field for NPL New South Wales men's. Blacktown City and your Manly United FC.
A very good evening, everybody. Welcome to midweek football in the NPL New South Wales men's. And what a fixture we've got for you tonight, full of recent history and more than a bit of feeling. Manly United hosting Blacktown City from Cromer Park. And for Manly, they return to the sanctity of the Northern Beaches after a first-up win here against St George FC. They've been beaten badly twice on their travels in the past 2 weeks. They're hoping a midweek refresh against a team who they've had recent success here against will be the cure the doctor ordered. For Blacktown City, though, they sit top of the table at this very early stage, unbeaten in 3 and coming off a 3-2 win against the Sutherland Sharks, in which they went down to 10 men on the weekend. They'll be hoping to keep that good run going and give Mark Crittenden some silverware after a few years without. So plenty on the line for both teams this evening. You see them running out in front of you. Manly in their home strip of navy blue. Blacktown, perhaps obviously, in their away strip of white and black socks. Let's get to the team news. A couple of changes for both. Manly just have the one after Connor Rose dropped out of the squad after the game last week. So they start like this. In goal, number 1, Levi Kay in front of a back 5. Patrick Zvansvik has gone to this system so far this season. Into the side at right wing back is number 2, the captain, Kieran Paul, tonight. Amid a centre half 3 of number 19, Alan Aganovich. Number 3, Zach Svilagoy. Number 4, Jesse Perez on the left. Starting his 3rd consecutive match is number 27, Corey Cronin. A midfield 4 expected of number 45, Bilal Belkadi. Number 12, Miguel Baltha, the Spanish import. Number 6, Saxon Hillier, the local boy. And number 10, Harry McCarthy, starting in behind number 9, Ben Coop. For Blacktown City, their one change from the weekend is in force. Mario Chabal sent off in the second half of their win over Sutherland, so they start like this. In goal is number 1, Tristan Prendergast. A back 5 of number 12, TJ Burney. Number 16, Ben Berry. Number 5, Grant Lynch, who is the inclusion today. Number 4, Lachlan Campbell. And number 18, Nicholas O'Brien. A midfield 3 expected of number 22, Jacob Maniti. Number 6, Adam Berry. And number 7, Travis Major, in behind the front 2 of number 8, Jack O'Brien. And number 23, Joey Gibbs. So something we're getting used to in the NPL New South Wales midweek football, with the 30-game season plus finals for the first time in 2024. We are underway for the first midweek fixture for both these teams this season. See if Blacktown City can carry the good form they'd had over the weekends into this one. A very early chance is nodded wide. Well, I suspect there might not be too many better opportunities over the course of the 90 minutes than that one that just fell the visitors' way through Jack O'Brien, who with 4 goals already in his first 3 games would have expected to take that. What a start. Had some quick goals already this season in the NPL New South Wales. Had some early action with a red card inside 30 seconds a couple of weekends ago at Valentine Sports Park. We nearly had another immediate moment of action here. Alex Molchanov here to guide you through all the madness. Well, if the first 30 seconds is anything to go by, that's exactly what we're about to get. Mention that Manly United have had recent success here against Blacktown City. It's been sparing. It was in a big game here a couple of years ago that's fondly remembered by the club in the elimination semi-final, when Alan Aganovich got 2 stoppage time goals to steal what seemed a certain victory off the visitors that day. It's the only time they've beaten them here in their last 6 visits. Corresponding fixture last year was right at the midway point of the season, a 2-0 win for Blacktown City. Lockie Campbell, who got a goal in the grand final back in 2022 against Manly United at Combank Stadium, was on the score sheet there, as well as the now departed Charles Mendy. Also a former Manly United player. He's bounced around a few clubs in his time, Charles. No longer with Blacktown. Be interesting to keep a watch on how Mark Crittenden sets up his side tonight. Moved away from the back five that's been their base over the last couple of seasons to a back four. And it looks as though they're going with that again tonight, although Grant Lynch coming into the side. Looks like it'll be a 4-4-2 again, with Maniti being partnered by Nicholas O'Brien in midfield. Adam Berry will drift in from the left. Travis Major will be the more attacking of the two wingers, trying to get up and support, well, the informed Joey Gibbs and Jack O'Brien. I mentioned his 4 goals in the first 3 games. Joey Gibbs getting his first goal back in Blacktown City colours since his return from Iceland in the off-season. That goal proved to be the winner as well. A 3-0 lead was almost thrown away by Blacktown against Sutherland on Sunday. It was all after Mario Chabot had found himself a second booking. Found himself Blacktown's first red card of the season. This game started at a frantic intensity, and it's caught out Adam Berry uncharacteristically. Bailed out by Ben Berry, his brother. Ben Coop was sniffing around there. Got a goal and an assist off the bench here on the opening day. Turned that game really against St George FC after a frustrating first half for Patrick Svanswijk's young side. They've got their first attacking opportunity of the match tonight through this quarter to be taken by their new Spanish import, Miguel Baltha. It's the deep option towards Zach Svilagoy. That's a weapon Patrick Svanswijk, who was good for a goal from a set piece in his day. He's all too aware of 2 big physical centre-halves that can get forward and get their head on a cross in Svilagoy and Aganovic. Interested to see Manly set up tonight as well. It looks like a back four. More regulation with Jesse Pires into midfield, sitting in front of the aforementioned 2. McCarthy's been lively early, and Belcardi's getting into a scrap with Lachlan Campbell. 2 fiery characters getting intertwined, and now Lachlan Campbell is really having a set too with Harry McCarthy, who got involved, I'm sure from his perspective, rather needlessly. Campbell is not one to back down from a confrontation when he feels the situation demands it. He's just getting a telling off from Matty Bingley, Mark Crittenden's assistant. Wants him to keep his cool in the early stages of this one. Well, we've had plenty to talk about, and we've barely played 5 minutes. Testing ball forward from Campbell. Doesn't let his frustrations with oppositions turn into his play often. Grant Lynch is the left back tonight, and he was looking to swing that one in towards a Whitehead. Couldn't do so. A little bit too much juice on it for the futsal-roo. Now it's Manly's turn to play some nice football through midfield. It's all cut off by Campbell. Still one of the prominent centre-halves in the competition. Such a good reader of the game, not the traditional large figure that Manly have down the other end, but a terrific ball player and cutter out of passes like you just saw there. He's trying to play out with Ben Berry, his partner in the heart of defence tonight, but Harry McCarthy spoiled those plans. He's nicked the ball off them. A couple to aim for in the middle if he can hold it up for long enough. Engages Berry, and Coop's got space. Back to clear the danger was Nick O'Brien. A combination of he and Ben Berry get the ball away. Danger still not clear until Tyrone Burney puts his foot through it. O'Brien clever in getting a touch, but couldn't force it the way of anyone in white. Lovely touch from Aganovic, who wins his side the free kick. A little bit of a clumsy challenge. You can understand why. And Joey Gibbs desired to win the ball back. In fact, it was Jack O'Brien who's made his way over there. He's almost touched every piece of grass in the attacking half in the opening 6.5 minutes. Big game for Manly tonight. They were buoyed by their first up win here, but 2 losses that have waved some flags of concern Patrick Svanswijk's way. Coop's pace gives Berry all sorts of headaches. Managed to even get his foot to the ball. Fortunately for Blacktown, it went straight the way of Tristan Prendergast. Not too many in this competition who could keep up with Ben Coop, including his teammates on that occasion. As has often been the case for Blacktown over the last couple of years, not too much turnover. These are still largely familiar faces, even the inclusion of Gibbs. It's one that's not particularly new to them, considering he spent most of his junior years here. Travis Major was very close to getting his boot on that ball, just flagged offside in any case. Levi Kay was out to do the sweeping. Only holding a good line on that occasion. Nice ball from Aganovic to find Miguel Balfour as well. Making his third appearance, hasn't had a win in Manly Blue yet. He's keen to get on with it, taking this one quickly through Hillier, who's probably been the pick of Manly's first 11 over the first 3 weeks. Nice touch in field. Chance for Cronin to get forward. There's been one to pop out. There's been a few of them. Stefano Rossello got his first senior goal. He's been in and around the first team for Manly United for the last few years. Cronin breaking his way into the team this year. It's lively down the left early. Chance for Manly United to deliver from their second quarter of the night. This time it's Harry McCarthy over to take it. You see that line of three central defenders forward for Manly United. Didn't find any of them, no. Harry McCarthy, who was the star of the opening day here. I mentioned Ben Coop's contribution. McCarthy, as he dropped deeper and deeper, became more and more prominent, really the creator of the first two goals, and then managed to score what will be in conversations for the goal of the season to put a cap on things. Blacktown City, as a matter of fact, have been the highest scoring team in the competition at this early stage, as well as sitting on top of the league. They've won a free kick in their attacking half here. A little bit sloppy, trying to press and win the ball back, Manly United's defence. Blacktown are blessed with one of the best dead ball exponents in the league in Adam Berry, but he's chosen to go short here. Lynch can whip in across as well. It's a beauty. And Lockie Campbell got his head on the ball, but couldn't keep the header on target. Looks as though it's going to be a regular route towards Manly United's goal tonight from Blacktown City. He launched in a couple of crosses. Ganovic and Svilagoy won't have any problems dealing with them if they're in the right position. It's more if they're able to get pressure on crosses and really not allow players like Lynch to whip a couple of good balls in, which he's already done tonight. Be something Patrick Zwanswijk will have his attentions on. One ball from Kay, and then a rough challenge from Nick O'Brien. It's brought an immediate whistle from our referee tonight, Chris Hughes. So a quiet first 10 minutes, I'm sure he'll be thankful for, despite the praise and generally frantic nature of this game so far. Wonder we've got a couple of other concurrent games kicking off tonight. Sharks and Wollongong Wolves are already underway. In fact, there's been a goal in that one as well. Wollongong have taken a very early lead down at Seymour Shore. Rockdale Ellendon taking on St George FC. And Sydney Olympic have just kicked off against the Marconi Stallions. We'll keep you up to date with all the action as they go on. A couple of later kickoffs tonight as well, around 8 o'clock. Nice ball forward from Coop and McCarthy, who've been the creative heart of Manly United so far this season, along with Saxon Hillier. Was brought down by a clumsy challenge from Ben Berry in a very dangerous area as well for Manly United. Without the services of Saya Kambiashi, who was so good from these sorts of situations last year, now with Arpia Leichhardt. Harry McCarthy will fancy his chances nonetheless. There's been a Period of experimentation at the start of the season for Patrick Zwanswijk. Mentioned that they've lost Cambiashi. They've also lost Bruno Mendes. And a shout out to Bruno if he's watching tonight. That's his engagement earlier today via Instagram. So many congratulations to he and his partner Tiana back home in Brazil. Hope you're enjoying the action if you are tuning in tonight. Couple over this one for Manly. McCarthy's one of them, Bouther the other. But it will be McCarthy. It was only a whisker away, and it took a touch from the wall as well. Prendergast didn't get his hand to it. That deflection's enough for another Manly United corner. They've started brightly here, the hosts. Putting Blacktown City under consistent pressure. What better service from this cross? It's much better! And Prendergast was, well, he felt fouled. Didn't deal with the cross whatsoever. Weren't enough blue shirts in there to steer it on goal. But it's deflected out off a white head, so another corner. Fourth by my count for Manly United already this evening. Bouther to take this one. He's got a good run at it, but it was well defended by Ben Berry. Hooked back in by Svilagoy for Akanovic. Struck McCarthy. Coops there, recycles for Miguel Bouther again. Goes for goal! And there were plenty on the far side who thought it was in. Just the wrong side of the post. And it took another deflection, so another corner for Manly. Tension growing in the Blacktown City technical area. Certainly in their own box as well. Jack O'Brien and Jacob Maniti are the only two outside it. As Bouther looks to deliver another one. This one's lower into the front post. And this time, Manly adjudged to have taken the last touch. So, Blacktown City see off that wave of pressure, and what a wave it was. Manly United dominating the last 5 minutes, not able to find a result on the score sheet. Thoroughly engaging opening quarter of an hour. United pressing high, forcing Blacktown City to make decisions. At times they've been able to play through the press and generate some decent attacking opportunities of their own. Clearest chance of the game went to Jack O'Brien in the opening 30 seconds. Header which he nodded just wide. Closest either side has come to breaking their deadlock. Pace of this one on a cool night on the northern beaches has been terrific. Campbell for Lynch. It's been good to see Jacob Maniti, really the only new face consistently in Blacktown City, starting 11 so far this season, the Filipino under-23 international. Tyron Burney, now a well-established member of Crittenden's starting 11. For Nick O'Brien into midfield tonight. He's lost that one, and then a really silly challenge on Bilal Belkadi, who was trying to suck him into something exactly like that. Referee Hughes elects to keep his cards in his pocket on this occasion, but Nick O'Brien might be treading rather a fine line at the moment. If you believe, as some do, that referees can talk with their whistle. You certainly did there. That was a sterner blow. Campbell getting involved in midfield. Doesn't want to let it get past him. Maniti's back there in cover. Lovely touch from Coop. He's got that in his locker. And McCarthy straight in towards goal. Facing the aforementioned Maniti, who did enough to hold him up. Danger still not clear, though, for Blacktown. Coop trying to turn. Challenge was well timed from Ben Berry. But another Manly United set piece from a corner. Shout out to all of you watching tonight on the Football New South Wales live stream through YouTube. So I know plenty of you are, including Blacktown City fans Nicole, Cami and Ezra. Very happy hello to you. Hope you're enjoying the game and the coverage. If not the rhythm of it so far, Blacktown have had to do a decent amount of defending. McCarthy's going to float this one into the back post. Ganovich got something on it. Campbell won the follow-up. Well struck by Svilagoy. Grant Lynch, the man in the way. But still, Blacktown City just can't get the ball out of their own half at the moment. United putting wave after wave of attacks together. They want a reward on the score sheet while this momentum sits in their favour, because the quality of play that Blacktown City have out there, you can not expect that to last for the entirety of the 90 minutes. That's a lovely ball from Levi Kay to Alan Aganovich, who was still high up the pitch from the corner. Hadn't retreated quickly whatsoever. Did a nice piece of midfield work, and how about the touch from McCarthy? Another little party trick. They're enjoying their football tonight, Manly United. Back at home, they're looking comfortable. Even Belcardi getting forward, and Campbell having to come out of his central defensive position to block the pass forward. Paul. That's a decent ball in, and, well, the touch actually came off Tyrone Burney. Nearly squeezed through the legs of Prendergast, but he managed to close them just in time. Coop's presence putting plenty of pressure on the Blacktown City back four. Still they survive, and honestly, that's the most telling save Prendergast had to make to this point. There's been a couple of strikes just wide of his goal. Only be hoping for a few more on target. Blacktown City just trying to wrestle the momentum back off them. Pure is in uncompromisingly and illegally. Patrick Svansvik has embodied the energy of his team so far tonight. He's been pacing up and down his technical area like a caged cat, which is not the usual for him. Usually one of the cooler characters on the sideline in the NPL New South Wales men's. Not been the case so far tonight. Blacktown just keeping the ball for a moment's breath. Hoping they can find their way forward as well. Certainly got the creative plays to do it. Joey Gibbs is one of those. And that pass was kicked off by Kieran Paul. Baltha, who's easily identifiable with the bleach blonde hair. Bring it all the way back to his goalkeeper. Kay's one of the better goalkeepers in this competition with his feet. Found Paul. His touch didn't match the ball out. Nicked back by Maniti. Belcardi in, and once again, adjudged to have fouled Dunham-Berry as he tried to win the ball back. Much to the displeasure of the Beacon Hill juniors sat away to our right tonight. Corey Cronin putting Jesse Pires under a little bit of pressure there. Touch was lost off Blacktown though, so Manly have a throw in deep in their defensive half. Mentioned that 2-0 win for Blacktown City here, the corresponding fixture last year. Actually played each other in the opening game of the season as well. Jack O'Brien scored the first of his 17 goals last campaign. One of the most prolific strikers in the league. In fact, the second most, only behind one Alek Urashevsky. He's matched his pace to start the season this year. Just missed the best chance of the game so far tonight that fell to him within the first minute. He's trying to carry the ball out of trouble. That didn't quite work. So Baltha getting Manly going the other way. Lovely bit of footwork from the Spaniard. And good vision to pick out Corey Cronin, who's more than happy to bomb on. Turns and thinks better of it with little support in front of him. Pure is changing the angle of attack for Kieran Paul. So hoping for an injury-free run this season, Kieran. His last 2 years have been stunted by consistent problems, knees, ankles, Achilles. He's had the lot. It's good to see him return last weekend against Apia Leichhardt, where he played just shy of 50 minutes, so it's a good run in the legs and enough Patrick Svansvik to start him tonight. Club captain now with the departure of Jimmy Oates in the off-season. Miguel Baltha has been brought down in midfield. Bilal Bacardi is pleading for a yellow card. It's not forthcoming. He's been patient so far this evening, the referee. Tick towards the halfway mark in the first half of this Wednesday night clash between Manly United and Blacktown City from Cromer Park. Once again, Baltha and Harry McCarthy, the two-man committee over the football. But as has been previously, it'll be McCarthy to try and swing this one away. He went the chipped option, which is fairly easily dealt with. I always think that's probably the most difficult position to have a free kick from. You've got no angle to work with to try and fashion a crossing. You've got to try and weight the ball within about an inch of space between the defence and the goalkeeper. Always difficult. Manly managed to make something of this, though. All more in hope than anticipation from Zach Svilagoy. It stayed up. Didn't have the worst shape on it, but there was no one in there attacking it. So Blacktown more than happy to see it trickle out of play. Interesting to see who has the advantage after the quick turnaround on the weekend as well. Something seems to become more accustomed to over the last couple of years. Quite a few made-up matches during the midweeks with cup runs made last year. Well, Blacktown and Manly were both out fairly early. Round 2 of the Australia Cup preliminaries. First round of the Waratah Cup set to be played over the next week or so. Make sure you check out the Football New South Wales social media pages, whether that's Facebook, Twitter or Instagram. Any of those will give you the information you desire and get down to one of those games for the community clubs. Top tier of NPL New South Wales clubs join that competition in the 4th round, so still a couple of weeks to wait for them before their cup campaigns get underway. Nice little jig from Tyrone Burney. And he's continued his run. He just breezed past Hillier like he wasn't there. Looking to wait it for Joey Gibbs, who was hot in pursuit. Ball read by Svilagoy. Started every match since his move from Bonnyrigg in the off-season in League One. It was so close to winning promotion with them. Wasn't quite to be. That one's knocked into a dangerous area. Belcardi half away and well struck by Lynch. Came to him at an awkward height, but showing beautiful technique for which he's renowned. Levi K rather happy, I'd guess, to see that ball fly wide of his post. After that frantic opening quarter of an hour, the game has just settled a bit, but both teams looking to press has meant that we're seeing quite a bit of action. Either content to sit back in and defend. Been good viewing for the neutral. You can feel there are more chances coming. So Adam Berry trying to get that one over with his left foot, well blocked by Belcardi. It's Joey Gibbs. It's a beautiful square ball for Travis Major. Doesn't mind a rip from there. Instead he plays a clever 1-2 with Burney. Nice work from Travis Major. He's Blacktown City's all-time leading goal scorer. Part of it because of his ability to surmise situations like that so quickly. And that's another ball into a dangerous area. Again dealt with by Belcardi. And now it's Blacktown City's turn to just put their foot on the ball for a second and enjoy some territorial dominance. To absorb so many Manly United attacks in the opening 20 minutes. And he's such a clever footballer. Well weighted ball, but Jack O'Brien hadn't timed his run. He's offside. Game's just about to kick off elsewhere. Hills United taking on Sydney FC out at Landon Stadium. It's also Blacktown City's home ground, of course. St George City hosting RP Leichhardt down at Penshurst Park. That's a beautifully weighted ball from Kieran Paul. Allows Miguel Baltha to stretch his legs. He'll always look to come back onto that left foot and cut in. Hillier. This ball was fairly easily cut out by Maniti. Now this is where Manly have found some trouble in transition, but this time they had plenty of numbers back there. Pires and Hillier happy to do the dirty work, and then Hillier's got the class to just play out of a little bit of pressure as well. Such a talented young man, Saxon Hillier. For a posit, don't want to guess, but feel he may be headed for the A-League one day if he continues the level of form he's shown in the first month of this season for Manly United. Blacktown City have won it back high up the pitch though. Bernie's someone that falls into a similar boat in terms of his performances over the last couple of seasons in Blacktown City colours. Ben Coop trying to dribble his way out of trouble. One with A-League Academy experience with Sydney FC. What's a Lucas Neal medal winner here as well for the best junior at the club. Harry McCarthy's been bestowed with that honour before as well. Nice ball from Campbell. Here's Grant Lynch. Nick O'Brien looking to measure something for his brother, but weren't quite on the same page. He was going to have to hit it with some force, and that actually took it away from his brother after beating the midfield screen, if you like, of Pires and Belcardi. Well, Kay's ball put Pires in a very awkward position there. And the Manly United midfielder had to stick his boot in the air to try and control it. That's judged as dangerous play. Blacktown City will have an indirect free kick about 30 yards from goal. All a bit messy. Did mention there's some measure of experimentation for this young Manly United team, having lost so many of their key players in the off-season from that run to the 2022 Grand Final. Blacktown City won. City without Mario Chabal tonight, a reminder. Ball was flicked up to the back post, and Campbell, as he so often is, able to get his head on the ball. Not able to keep it down though. Manly United happy to see it go behind as we tick towards the half-hour mark. A beautiful night for football on Sydney's northern beaches. Light breeze that's been blowing across from the far post on the far side towards us. There's a smell of some good food over there as well. Balthur's switch of play has got Manly encouraged as Cronin tries to get on the end of that. Bernie shepherding him backwards towards Ben Berry, who puts his laces through it to clear. Game in which the pendulum has swung a couple of times already tonight. Haven't had the ultimate swing though in terms of a goal. Throw-in was towards Belcardi, who managed to make something of it and then skip past Berry. Bilal Belcardi, great save, Prendergast. The rebound is off the bar. Goodness me. Miguel Balther was that close to his first Manly United goal. The crossbar denied him. And now Blacktown might have a chance to break through Jack O'Brien, who's just wrestled Svilagoy to the ground. Clearly those two have been going at it off the ball, and the frustrations have got to the Blacktown City striker, who hauls down Svilagoy and finds himself as the first player in the referee's notebook tonight. It's a couple of times Manly United players have done that, just running across the path of a player pursuing the football. We saw Belcardi do it a little bit earlier in the corner and win the free kick off Nick O'Brien. His brother challenge was rather less subtle. And now he's sliding in at the feet of Perry. He's got to be very careful here, Jack O'Brien, that he doesn't lose his head completely. His presence was enough to worry Svilagoy though. Boots it well out of play. Haven't brought you the two benches yet tonight, so we'll just do that while we've got a moment as they just collect the ball on the far side. Peter Kakaris is there for Manly United. Joe Fox Wearing number 8, number 39, Stefano Rossello, was on the score sheet in the opening weekends. Now there's controversy about which way this throw-in's going. Decision is Manly's. Zayn Alawalia, number 16, number 26, Oliver Burden, who would be making his debut if he got on tonight. Number 41, Monty Partington is the reserve goalkeeper. Blacktown City, plenty of attacking options. Coop felt he was fouled, and now the free kick is blown. With the help of assistant Rowan Fisher. Manly United taking their time over the free kick, but they take it short. We'll just finish that Blacktown City bench. Number 9, Ruben Oro-Tife. He's now number 14, Mitch Marley, who scored on his last visit here. Number 17, Marty Fernandez. Number 42, Lachlan Henderson. And the reserve goalkeeper tonight, number 20, Caden Henderson. Mentioned there was a bit of feeling in this fixture. These two teams have become so familiar with each other, playing in League Cup and finals over the past couple of seasons. Say familiarity breeds content. That's certainly the case between these two. Seem to always have an underlying fire to their fixtures. Cronin showing all his pace to get that ball in, and Balfour forced a very, very sharp save from Prendergast again. Good reactions from the Blacktown City captain tonight. Have to be sharp down to his left. A save he'd expect himself to make. Looks impressive to us mere mortals regardless. Corner taken short by Manly. Balfour with a chance to cross. Thought better of it. He's going to try and work the angle, and this one's easily caught by Prendergast, who's had a tidy last 15 minutes. And Kieran Paul going straight into the back of Jack O'Brien, who's had quite enough of what he feels Manly United players buying free kicks off him. Goes down under the challenge and wins his side a free kick upfield. Now Major going to do well to get the beating of Cronin. That's exactly what he did. He was only an inch away from the head of Joey Gibbs. Lynch keeps it in play, and that's far from his best effort. Getting the ball into the area. Usually so accomplished in those sorts of areas, and couldn't deliver there. It was a poor ball out from Svilagoy, really. It's allowed Blacktown City to win the header and get themselves going forward again. And now Adam Berry showing just an error in his touch, which is very unlike him. It's almost too casual. Expecting the ball just to fall on his foot, as it so often does. Decided to wiggle its way past him that time. 10 minutes to go in this first half. Manly United have come closest to opening the scoring. Miguel Balfour hitting the crossbar. And the free kick has gone Blacktown City's way. Ben Coop is incredulous. We're in a wrestling match, the two. Really has been a fractious last 10 or 15 minutes. Frantic start has turned into a bit of a scrappy game as this game's gone on. Feel a goal to break the deadlock and open one of the teams up truly. It's another tough challenge goes in, and Joey Gibbs is certainly not giving it up. Belcardi's wrestling around on the ground with him. Fans in the stands shouting for a card. I think they just want some sort of retribution towards their opponents, and that ball put Belcardi in a very, very awkward position. He's being wrestled around a couple of times tonight as well. Maniti, the man, bringing him down this time. No foul seen by the referee. Manly United continue to play forward through McCarthy. Now Belcardi, who's got to his feet and rejoined the attack. Paul. Balfour To sum up his options, there aren't too many. Perez. Paul and McCarthy. It's being held up by Ben Berry. Going to wiggle his way past him. Did well to keep the ball in, and then Adam Berry just sticks out a leg, and Kieran Paul is all too happy to go over it. And that'll be the second yellow card of the night. It's one for the Berries and one for the O'Briens. Two pairs of brothers in Blacktown City starting 11. Not been a performance you associate with Adam Berry, usually such a classy footballer. Been too happy to get in the scrap tonight. Perhaps that sums up what we've seen in the opening half of football. Been plenty of action. Really, all it's missing is a goal. They only have the chance to produce it here. Svilagoy and Aganovic forward again. Balfour looking to find one of their heads. Instead, whipped it a bit too close to goal. Catching practice for Prendergast. Beniti, who was integral to Blacktown City's play early, faded out of the game a little. Probably because that midfield has just become so congested. Difficult for either side to consistently get the ball through that area of the pitch. They've had a lot more luck down the right with Bernie, and that's a very late challenge this time from Jesse Perez coming across in cover. He's the first Manly United player into the referee's notebook. So showing plenty of patience early. Referee's trying to put a stop to what has been a very physical last quarter of an hour or so. Chance for Blacktown to get forward, and it's blocked on the line by Svilagoy. Travis Major so close to opening the scoring. Bernie keeps the attack alive. Darting through players. Like for Nick O'Brien, and then Perez happy to just hoist it into the far post. Well, it was Manly United putting Blacktown City under all the pressure early in this game since it's become more physical. Blacktown have had the upper hand. Major tried to get his head on the ball. Kieran Paul diving out of defence in cover. The throw-in goes Manly United's way. Another little battle over possession through the middle of the pitch. See how tight it is again in there. Manly just say, we'll calm it all down a bit, please. 5 minutes to go. Blacktown aren't too keen on that. They throw forward into a press again. Cardi got his body in front, but there was no foul. The touch came off Lockie Campbell, though. Manly United throw. Patrick Zvansvik wanted a bit more. He felt his midfielder was fouled. He's more adamant in his protests than Belcardi himself. Has been in the wars in the first half. That's not been completely of the opposition's making. He's been more than keen to get involved in those little scraps, but even there, McCarthy just pushing off Campbell, and then Balfour through the back of Lynch, fairly, but physically. And now it's Blacktown crying for a free kick. Not giving the officials an easy ride either side tonight. Now Svilagoy into a wrestling match with Jack O'Brien. Svilagoy will be walking a rather fine line in terms of cards now too. It's a couple of fouls he's committed. As we approach half-time, you imagine the message from the two managers at the break. Well, not to be back out of any challenges, but perhaps not to get as involved in the protests and the afters as both teams have been in the first. Beniti turned himself into a lovely position and then knocked the ball off his standing leg. Matty Bingley has been the voice of the Blacktown City technical area so far tonight. He's back up again. Now the crowd are taking the lead from the players and starting to get involved in shouts at the referee as well. Who'd be one? Perez gets a touch. It's a Blacktown City throw right on halfway. If you are just joining us, Alex Molchanoff with you on the Football New South Wales live stream. This round 4 match in midweek. Belcardi and Maniti come together, and once again Belcardi's tangled up with a Blacktown City player. Can't stay out of it at the moment. It's a gathering of players again around the referee. Belcardi's really causing some angst out there. He's almost at the centre of all of it. Blacktown City taking their time over this free kick, just allowing tempers to ease a little. Ball into Gibbs. Lynch went back to get the very long-range 1-2. He's trying to pick out Major. Well dealt with by Aganovich. Jack O'Brien just losing the ball, Nick O'Brien rather, just losing his touch at the critical moment. McCarthy chipping it over the top, looking to get back on the end of his own ball. A couple of Manly players there with no one around them. Perez takes control, but then loses the football. Major has been on the periphery so far tonight. That's not unusual. Inevitably, he tends to pop up with a goal. Blacktown will be hoping that's the case in the second half. They're approaching that half-time break. Miguel Baltha was the closest to breaking the deadlock. Save from Prendergast, rebounded up in the air, and his header struck the crossbar. It's the closest either side have come after Jack O'Brien missed a free header from about 6 yards out inside the first 30 seconds. Major drifted out to the left, trying to get on the ball. Feeding Berry overlapping. Belcardi, for all the antagonism, is reading the play pretty well in front of his defence as well. And then Perez, or Paul rather, sliding in to execute the block. Manly's defence has clearly been a focus since they copped 4 goals against RPL Leichhardt on Sunday afternoon. Campbell, always sure of pass. Maniti for Major. Now Berry looking to get on his favoured right foot. Fairly easily cleared by Svilagoy. Villiers loves to run with the football. He had it nicked off him by Nick O'Brien. Baltha stuck a foot in. And it was Perez's turn on Jack O'Brien, who's still probably, as I've mentioned, Belcardi's been Manly United's antagonist. Jack O'Brien has certainly been Blacktown's. Physical challenge and then an uncompromising reply from Miguel Baltha, who becomes the second Manly United player booked of the night. That's 2 apiece. Welcome to Australia, Miguel. His first yellow card since joining the NPL New South Wales. Tick towards half-time. Expecting about 3 minutes to be added on by the referees. There have been a fair few stoppages to diffuse some of the flashpoints. Thankfully, nothing's got too out of hand to this point. It's just simmering nicely under the surface for the neutral. Paul committing to the challenge with Lynch. 2 experienced heads going at it down this near touchline in the first half. Paul wins the challenge but concedes the throw. Major's touch let him down. That's not a sentence you say too often in commentary. The clearance wasn't the best from Baltha though. Nick O'Brien with a chance to strike. Lobbing it up in the air. Didn't catch the volley quite as he would have liked. And an entertaining first half comes to an end. It was full of fire and brimstone. A couple of yellow cards apiece. Plenty of flashpoints. Jack O'Brien provided the first highlight, if you want to call it that, when he put the ball wide inside the first 30 seconds when left unmarked inside Manly United's penalty area. Miguel Baltha striking the crossbar with about 10 minutes to go in the first half was the closest the hosts got. But as the two teams head down the tunnel here at Cromer Park, it's Manly United 0, Blacktown City 0. Welcome back to Cromer Park. I'll get it out eventually. The second half of this game between Blacktown City and Manly United about to get underway. Alex Bolchinoff with you on the Football New South Wales live stream on YouTube. Pleasure to have your company wherever you're watching around the world this evening. Best chances of that first half went to Jack O'Brien inside the first minute. Nodded a free header wide for Miguel Baltha. Nodded one off the crossbar in the closing stages of that same period. That's the closest both sides have come. What has been a very physical encounter to this point. We'll see if some free-flowing football breaks out amongst the madness. The reason for that is because both teams have been so keen to press high and get at their opposition without the football. We'll see if that trend continues in the second half and indeed which changes the coaches decide to go to as they look to try and break the deadlock here. There has been one at the break already. And it's a change for Blacktown City. Jacob Maniti taken off and replaced by number 14, Mitch Malia. So, on the face of it, that's an attacking substitution from Mark Crittenden. Nick O'Brien, already booked tonight, brings down Hilliard. He's walking a fine tightrope. Feels for handballers Miguel Baltha, who struck the crossbar in the first half, brought that one down. Fair play, and Bilal Belkadi has stuck the wrong side of the defence and squeezes it past the post. Was not picked up. Perhaps they didn't expect to see him that high up the pitch. Perhaps Manly fans didn't expect to see Bilal Belkadi up with the last line of defenders. He worked his way off the back and was very, very close to giving them the lead here. Well, an early shot across the bows in the second half. Just as Jack O'Brien gave Manly one in the first half, they've returned serve in the second. Ball avoids a magpie and eventually reaches Travis Major, who's got plenty of black and white with all the tattoos on his body as well, and he's managed to win his side an attacking corner. This is very much the pattern of what we saw in the first half. Pendulum swings aplenty. Both teams wrestling momentum back off each other more than once during the first half, and Blacktown City are piling bodies into the 6-yard box of Levi Kay, and that's exactly where the ball goes. Too close to the goalkeeper. Didn't actually reach him before getting out of play, a goal kick. Just another frustrated glance from Matty Bingley, who's been pacing the Blacktown City technical area throughout this game. Mark Crittenden's assistant again this season. Ben Coop, since a bright start, has really cut an isolated figure for the majority of this match. Since Manly's opening 15 minutes or so, he and Harry McCarthy not really able to get into the game, and that's been down to the effective work screening in front of the defence, as well as the contributions of Ben Berry and Lachlan Campbell. Dealt with everything thrown their way with relative ease to this point. Grant Lynch has made a habit of getting forward down the left. Adam Berry now sits up for Malia. Bernie's ball in. Was well judged by Kay the whole way. Managed to come out in front of the Blacktown strikers and claim. Terrific to see Mitch Malia back out playing football. Thought his career was over, thanks to some chronic problems. He's managed to get them sorted out. What they thought were chronic, he's managed to get them sorted out. And fortunately for Mark Crittenden, is another terrific weapon for Blacktown City to bring off the bench. Wondered that they're without Mario Chabal tonight after he was sent off last weekend against Sutherland. Baltha getting into a physical entanglement with Grant Lynch. That allowed Malia to get in and win the ball back. Berry plays it wide for Major. Let's go back to Adam Berry, who goes for goal and strikes that same crossbar. Twice that frame of the goal has been struck in this game, and still we haven't got a goal to break the deadlock. Berry's effort from rather further out. It was a terrific strike. The ball just opened up for him. And Levi Kay, I don't know if he would have had it covered had it fallen just an inch or so lower, but it would have been very, very close. Manly United and Blacktown have both had good chances in their second half. Both come close to breaking their deadlock. Neither able to do it yet. Manly trying to play their way out of trouble. They've done it well this time. Of course, as I say that, Bilal Belkardi's pass is misplaced. Grant Leach can just see it out for a throw. Scores from around the grounds, where there are plenty of other games being played tonight. Rockdale Illingdon leading 2-0 against St George FC at the Illingdon Sports Centre. The Wolves 2-0 up against Sutherland, thanks to 2 goals from Sep Hernandez. 1-1 is the score as things stand at the Belmore Sports Ground. Sydney Olympic 1, Marconi 1, Hills United and Sydney FC, as well as St George City and RPL Leichhardt, both locked at 0-0. Both those games heading towards the end of the first 45 minutes. Blacktown City have worked an attacking free kick for themselves here. Mention the threats that Manly United are able to throw forward in these sorts of situations. Lachlan Campbell has showed a knack of getting himself on the score sheet over the past couple of seasons, including a grand final goal in 2022. And Ben Berry's a big man. Kay coming out of his goal to punch. Hillier completes the job. Another testing ball in from Adam Berry. Nick O'Brien looking to recycle possession. His ball was rather aimless. Easily cut out by Svilagoy. Hillier trying to buy a free kick. Didn't get it off the referee. He put the whistle to his mouth, much to the displeasure of the Manly United supporters. Alan Aganovich showing a cool head just to step in and cut that attack out before it had really begun. Balfour trying to dribble his way forwards. He's had a difficult last half hour or so either side of half time, including that header which came thumping back off the crossbar. Tyrone Burney with the most space we've really seen him with this afternoon, or this evening even. Gets it back from the block of Cronin. Did well to recover. Malia up against a much younger opponent, kept the ball in play. Can he get a telling cross in? I was going to say it was too deep for Joey Gibbs on the far side, but he managed to keep it in play. Back with Lynch. Now O'Brien. Nick, that is. Adam Berry. Back for Nick O'Brien. Just stumbled, but managed to keep the run going. Got away from Coop. Malia. Berry. Burney. Who got this all started. This time elects just to keep possession with all 11 Manly players behind the ball. The deepest of blocks they're in after pressing so high for the majority of the first half. Campbell trying to pick a hole in it. Found Malia, but his touch let him down, and Cronin was able to get back and do the defending. Burney for Adam Berry. Lovely touch from Jack O'Brien for Malia, whose cross had too much on it. Fell into the grateful hands of Levi Kay. Hasn't been beaten here yet this season. Ticked past the 2-hour mark of that scoreless run to start the season in the first half. Of course, won the battle for the goalkeeper jersey really off Jack Greenwood last season, who departed for an overseas trip midway through. Managed to lock it in. He's going to be forced into a bit of work here. Jack O'Brien lobbing it up. Down was Malia looking for a whistle that I don't think was ever going to come, but Manly are forced to put the ball behind. Blacktown City can keep up the pressure with another corner. Greenwood's since departed the club, just finishing that point on Levi Kay, giving himself the goalkeeper's jersey. Serve goalkeeper tonight, Monty Partington, still just 17 years of age. Made his debut late in the fixture last season at Sydney United Sports Centre against the Bulls Academy on the final day. Deep ball looking for a man there, and Lynch's shot fell to Campbell, who had to stretch and reach it, which meant his weight was going back and the ball flew high. I mentioned his knack for getting himself on the score sheet. It's as often from situations like that as any. He's got a striker's instinct inside the penalty area in terms of just knowing where the ball will fall. It was very unfortunate that he wasn't able to keep that on target and give Blacktown City the lead. Still, our wait goes on for a goal. I'm a bit bewildered as to how, to be honest. The amount of chances that both teams have had. As we approach the hour mark, Manly trying to break that deadlock. Balfour off the right with his left. Now they're coming together between Hillier and Malia. Cronin's not worried about that, and Prendergast just had his heart in his mouth for a moment as he saw that one swing back towards his goal. That breeze not holding it up quite enough for Corey Cronin. Say the ball in was a little bit of a misjudgment in the end. No, it's Travis Major to ironic cheers from the far post right behind him. A few patrons over there enjoying a meal. I'd say a cold refreshment as well. Coming together between two players on that far side. As the ball trickled out of play. Major getting back to do the defending. Did it quite well against Kieran Paul. Couldn't reach it. Good to see Kieran getting through plenty of work. This is the most minutes he's played in almost a year. Mentioned in the first half his battles with injuries over the past 12 months. A little bit longer than that, really. It's been solid as ever tonight. It's part of Manly's grand final winning team back in 2017. In fact, he's the only one remaining in the squad from that team. Coop looking for Balfour, couldn't find him. Belcardi late into the challenge on Nick O'Brien. Advantage paid by the referee with Major on the ball. Blacktown City just happy to keep it in their own half for the moment. Campbell looking for the ball forward. Found Nick O'Brien. Hillier did brilliantly to read the ball forward. Managed to get it to Belcardi. Talk about swinging the momentum. It's just moments like that that can do that sort of thing. McCarthy with a clever touch. He just had a little bit too much on it for Hillier. Tyrone Burney stepping infield. Switching positions almost with Adam Berry. He's nominally into the centre of midfield since half-time. This ball couldn't pick out Joey Gibbs. Really has faded into a peripheral figure. He's not the only striker with whom that's been the case so far this evening. Lovely ball from Nick O'Brien for Malia, who's popped up on the left-hand side. This ball was over the head of Gibbs and fell to a blue shirt. Cronin able to steer it away from danger. Just as Manly had a period down this end of real territorial dominance in the first half, Blacktown City are having their moment now, hoping to punish them with a goal. Manly have made that rather more difficult than they've managed to over the past couple of weekends. Jack O'Brien, who found himself in the book and thoroughly frustrated in the first half after turning up that early chance. This one's another error of judgment with that pass. Wiley are giving him something to chase, but it's a lost cause. Quick turnaround for both these teams. Manly United are back here on Saturday night against Rockdale Illingdon. The 7:15 kickoff. Blacktown City get an extra few hours. Back on Sunday at Landon Stadium. Hoping it's not too hot. An early 3 o'clock kickoff for them against the Wollongong Wolves. It's Filagoy. Straight out of trouble. His ball gave Coop something to chase. He was strong enough to win the physical battle with Lockie Campbell, but ball nods off him out of play. Game's just hit a lull, which really wasn't the case ever in the first half. It was all action for the full 45 minutes. Feel fatigue might be starting to creep into the legs of a few of the players. Their second game in 4 days. Bernie. Oh, what a gorgeous turn from Malia. Gets Blacktown going the right way, and a pretty good ball over the top as well. Allowed Travis Major into the attack, just waiting for support. Now it arrives. Jack O'Brien with his back to goal. Major asks for it back, and he got it eventually, and then Paul nicked it off his toe. Good piece of defending from the Manly United captain. Can Belcardi find a clever ball forward for McCarthy? This is where he wants to be. Over the top of Bernie, and then behind Coop, who was rushing to support. See the quality of Harry McCarthy with every first touch. It's just been the distribution that's been lacking a little tonight. Well, trying to find something equivalent was Malia, who argues that Cronin used his arm to block that one. The referee was in disagreement. Blacktown's experienced campaigner. Bernie getting too close to McCarthy again, and he felt the tug on the shirt and knew that the whistle was coming. Might have thought there was a little bit more discipline coming for Tyrone Bernie. It was a cynical challenge from the Blacktown right back. Patrick Zvansvijk is incredulous. Was a fair way from goal, but you could see the Manly United argument certainly. Blacktown City will argue that Manly have had quite a few going the other way that haven't found any of their players in the book either. Travis Major striding infield now. Ben Coop, who's been hard at work tonight without much reward, getting back to do some defending. Baltha. 2, 3 clever touches, and now a little bit of time to compose himself. He's looking for support. It's not particularly forthcoming. Now it's arrived through Cronin down the left. Had to stretch to try and control that. Might have Bernie in a corner here if he can get some support. Bernie was trying to win the goal kick. That didn't work out. Now Cronin with his back to him. Wrestling with him for it. Good strength from the youngster. And Bernie did well to ensure that he couldn't get out of there either. Good football. Manly United's turn to put a couple of waves of attacks together. Lovely couple of touches from McCarthy and Hillier. How's the ball? Not finding anyone in blue initially anyway. Baltha. To get a shot away, and Prendergast was alive to it and palmed it around the post. Well, we've seen glimpses from Miguel Baltha tonight, haven't we? Just drifting it off the right, looking to get that shot away on the left. That one was a stinging drive that required a sharp piece of goalkeeping. Still the deadlock not broken. Still only the one sub from either side as well. I figure that might be about to change. McCarthy's ball in. Gave Pyrrhus something to attack. Hillier. Not quite as comfortable on his right foot, although both of them are pretty good. Couldn't steer that one towards Prendergast's net. Joe Fox is being readied by the Manly United bench to make his entry. Returning to the club after a few years away with the Northern Tigers in League One. Turns a more experienced player, certainly. Now 32. I mentioned that Kieran Paul was the only member of the first 11 in that 2017 squad that won the grand final. Joe Fox is about to join him as a second. Familiar face around these parts. Started the opening game of the season. Yeah, but was actually taken off at half-time that night. He's going to be called on to replace the man I just mentioned, Kieran Paul. One championship winning player for another. For Patrick Zvansvijk, two of the experienced heads. United's first substitution will necessitate a slight reshuffle. Jesse Pires takes the captain's armband. Fox will slot in at the base of midfield behind the willing and younger legs of Belcardi and Hillier. Interesting for Zwanswijk tonight, opting to go away from that back five that he started the season with. Deciding that it hadn't quite worked. Looked a lot more solid defensively so far this evening. Love a clean sheet to show for it. They're going to put that in danger. Mitch Malia should have scored. And he knows it. Hands went straight in his head. It was a lovely ball from Grant Lynch. Perfect for him. And he put it the wrong side of the post. Well, you have to say now that's the best chance of the game, and it was not dissimilar to Jack O'Brien's in the opening minute. Down the other end. Another beautiful ball in on that occasion. And Grant Lynch has provided a consistent threat for Blacktown City down the left tonight. Pires trying to give him something going the other way, but Coop's touch was a little sloppy. He's had another frustrating night at the office. Zwanswijk still toying with the mix of players putting together. Ezra Palambini, one not in the squad tonight, having played in the 20s in their 6-1 win last night. Got on the score sheet a couple of times in that one as well. Connor Rose not here for Manly tonight. Now it's the Blacktown players having a couple of words with the referee. He's had a bit more peace in the second half, but it's been few and far between the rest he's had tonight. Physical encounter in this midweek clash between Manly United and Blacktown City. Tyrone Burney down the right this time. He and Cronin, well, engaging each other, almost grabbing each other. You feel it was the NFL, it might have been a holding penalty called, as it was half of one and 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Referees elected to let it go. McCarthy had Campbell isolated if he'd been able to bring the ball under his spell. He wasn't. So we'll wait for a goal at Cromer goes on. Into the final quarter of this match. Crossbar struck twice. Two very good opportunities turned up by Blacktown City, one by Manly United. A couple of good saves made by Prendergast. It's not been, for a want of trying, it's not been a defensive masterclass by either team by any stretch of the imagination. There's been plenty of pressing and energy shown by both teams. Just lacking that little bit of quality in the final third. Coop dropping deep to try and get himself a little bit more involved. His ball forward, and McCarthy getting tangled up with Ben Berry. Was, well, happy to pick the ball up and make sure Manly couldn't take the free kick quickly. There's been a lot of that. A little bit of gamesmanship from both sides tonight in equal measure. McCarthy coming into the game a bit more. A lovely touch from Coop. Belcardi's through again, and what a challenge by Lynch. Well, Belcardi missed a gilt-edged opportunity in the opening moments of this second half, and he's just turned up another one there. And you feel his frustrations are going to get the better of him yet. Fouling Lachlan Campbell as he retreated to his position. Ben Berry playing out from the back for Jack O'Brien, and now Mitch Malia. A couple of winning runners in behind. One of them's Joey Gibbs, who's got away from Svilagoy. Touch took him right to the byline and beyond it. Still only one substitute used by both sides here. The attacking firepower on the benches, I do find that a little bit of a surprise. Marty Fernandez and Ruben Oroatife waiting on the Blacktown City bench tonight. Manly United have the willing running of Peter Kikera, St. Alawalia as well. Stefano Rossello, a goal scorer on the opening day. Lovely run from Cronin. Bernie did very well to marshal him. Gets something on the cross to prevent it from reaching its desired destination. So it's Gibbs' turn to drop deep, and once again he's unhappy with the decision of the assistant on this near side. His battle has been with him as much as Manly United in this second half. Joe Fox for Belcardi. You just see the energy. Every time an opposition player gets the football, there's 2 or 3 players in pursuit. She's leaving openings at the back, and it's been a lot of fouls like that. Well, not a foul, judged by the referee. Nick O'Brien certainly thought he was caught. Mark Crittenden did. Matty Bingley's been doing a lot of the shouting from the City touchline. Crittenden's seen enough to find his way. He's not one to shy away from letting officials know his opinion. No, it's both coaches having a discussion with fourth official Thomas Dale, who's copped quite an earful tonight, particularly from the Manly United bench. Fox. We turn our focus to the on-pitch action. Campbell, as he so often does, timing his press, and they're going in with a boot raised. There's a decision to make here for the referee. The studs were definitely up from Lockie Campbell, and that has really upset Zach Svilagoy. It was right on the border of a send-off challenge. He was stretching for the ball. I think it's only going to be yellow for Lockie Campbell, but he can count himself a lucky boy. Yellow enough for the referee on this occasion. It was probably the fact that Campbell pulled out of the challenge that escaped him from some more serious punishment. Svilagoy was on his feet the whole way. Returned to his feet very quickly. The initial intent of the challenge probably not matched by its outcome. Coop winning the ball in the air. Let's give McCarthy the chance. Campbell just read it better. Blacktown happy to have him back there because he's so good in those situations, particularly with knockdowns in both areas. Prendergast with a bit to do as he's working his way towards the outside of his box. Cronin deposits the header into the Lucas Neal stand. I mentioned those attacking options that Crittenden and his coaching staff have available to him. Marty Fernandez and Ruben Oroatife are both up in the corner, limbering up. See how long it is till we see either of them. Doesn't seem to be any movement on the Manly United bench. Grant Lynch getting forward from left back again. Pira's only half dealing with it. Marley is strike, and Major was offside by quite some distance. Calls from the crowd matched fairly quickly by Jackson Mackey's flag. It's been a game of if, buts and maybes to this point. No shortage of chances for either team. It's a little bit of a mystery as to how we're still at 0-0. Part of that has been the strong goalkeeping performance of Tristan Prendergast, certainly. Bilal Belcardi's had a couple of good chances for Manly United. Miguel Balthus struck the crossbar. Adam Berry's done the same for Blacktown City. Jack O'Brien turning up a chance you'd usually expect him to take in his sleep in the very early stages. It's been that sort of game. Joey Gibbs, who's dropped deeper and deeper as this second half has worn on. Jack O'Brien shrugging off the attentions of two Manly United defenders to find Major. Svilakoy across to win the challenge but concede the throw. Major takes it quickly. Adam Berry. Well, there was no one there supporting him, really. All the shirts in there were blue. And Berry catching McCarthy. And when I pose that somewhat rhetorical question as to how we're still locked at 0-0, that's been part of the equation. It's been both teams happy to commit fouls, and Patrick Svanswijk's on the pitch here, so he's going to find himself in the book. But he wants to get his point across because he doesn't feel as though he's being heard. And still he's persisting with his discussions with Chris Hughes. A couple of players walking a fine line out there. The Manly United coach has probably exhausted the extent of his ability to protest. And still he continues his impassioned discussion with the fourth official, Thomas Dale. That's almost been non-stop tonight. Ganovich, another clever touch from McCarthy. They need to move it quickly though, Manly. Cronin's forward from left fullback. Hillier. It's a tangle between Campbell and McCarthy. That's left Coop completely unmarked. But the touch was with his head and up in the air rather than down to his foot. Well, you feel if either side find a breakthrough now, it's going to elicit an emotional response from both benches. And you feel that's certainly not an unlikely scenario. I mentioned there was little movement on Manly United's bench. Now there are a couple of players up, Kikeris and Rossello, both receiving instructions. Perez across to cover. He's almost played three different positions tonight. And had the captain's armband given to him by Kieran Paul late in the second half as well. Now he's got a bit of defending to do in the corner under the attentions of Blacktown City player. I think it was Adam Berry on that far side. In fact, it was Mitch Malia who's flicked out to the left. Marty Fernandez is soon to be with us. Just getting some tape and some deep heat applied to it. Very heavily strapped back, it must be said. Lynch. Striding forward. Cut out by Manly. Fernandez in his first season for Blacktown City. They're coming through the grades at Marconi. Wanted to make the move, I think, in hope of more playing time in 2024. Yet to make a start, but the goal here might go some way to getting him some playing time from the start. Levi Kay showing an unusual error with his boot playing out from the back, but it does allow Manly United to make those couple of substitutions I mentioned. Ben Coop has got through a lot of work, and that's appreciated by the small but hearty crowd in the Lucas Neal stand as he makes way. And the second is going to be Miguel Baltha. His wait for a first Manly United goal goes on after striking the crossbar in the first half. Prominent early, but has faded out of the game in the second half as Blacktown City have taken more and more control of it. Stefano Rossello scored his first senior goal on the opening day. Be hoping to add another. The 19-year-old. Bernie. Well, he lost Kikeris initially and just pondered over the pass for a moment too long. Beautiful bit of ball playing from Berry. That's what we are so used to associating with the older Berry brother. Nick O'Brien's turn to try and launch it across, and Joey Gibbs got a touch to that. He felt the decision should have gone his way, but his appeal is, well, rather half-hearted, let's put it that way. I think he knows that he got the final touch there. Now it's going to be Jack O'Brien, whose best chance came inside the first minute. Mentioned there might not be a better chance in the game after he'd put it wide. At this point, there might have been one or two. Mitch Malia sticking his head up from a similar distance wide. Miguel Baltha also with his head off the crossbar. Still no one has been able to trouble the scorers. It's looking very much like it's headed for the same result as their first clash last season. Draw and some split points. That would put Blacktown City in an interesting position as things stand. 2 wins and 2 draws to start their season. Certainly disappointed only to come away with a 0-0 draw against newly promoted St George, who'd put up problems for Manly United the week before here in the first 45 minutes, but Manly managed to produce some really special stuff in the second half to take the 3 points with 3 goals. Hoping they don't cop one late here. Yet to score since that game, the hosts tonight. 10 minutes to play, plus whatever the referees deem appropriate to be added on. Kikaris, in an unusual part of the field, was keeping everybody on side. He's younger, but more adept. Left back, Corey Cronin across to put the ball out of play, and Zach Svilagoy is down on his backside. Whether he's going to ask for the physio, Levi Kay is urging him to get back to his feet, and that's what he does now. Tallest player on the pitch, marshalling Manly's backline as they look to hold on to this clean sheet. Yet to concede at home this season. Blacktown trying to change that. Lovely ball for Bernie from Major. Cut out at the near post and then thumped clear by Kikaris. Nick O'Brien, who's probably been the tidiest of Blacktown's 11 in the second half. Probably put Grant Lynch in that conversation as well. He's been tireless down the left this evening. He's picked his moments to perfection. And a sloppy touch from who's just joined us, Marty Fernandez. Push the ball out of play for a Manly United goal kick. As I mentioned a little bit earlier in the half, if you missed it, Manly United's back in action on Saturday night here. They host Rockdale Illingdon, who are looking pretty set for another win to start their season. Still unbeaten. Have a 3-0 lead at the Illingdon Sports Centre against St George FC. Blacktown City, early Sunday kickoff against the Wollongong Wolves. That'll be a tough test. David Carney's team are proving a tough match-up for most teams in the league these days. Can they find a late winner here, Blacktown? Malia's ball was easily cut out by Svilagoy at the near post. Blacktown City have looked the more likely in this second half, but they're yet to force a meaningful save from Levi Kay. Adam Berry's strike, which bounced back off the crossbar, is the closest they've come. Here he is on the ball. The aforementioned Berry. Cronin, well, he read the ball better than Tyrone Burney, to whom the pass was intended, but mistimed his jump a little, and that throw is very deep in their half. Major with his back to goal. Kikaris, his opposite number, holding him up and doing enough, and a scream of frustration from City's all-time leading scorer. He wants the result tonight. As I said, this is a place Blacktown City have found a lot of joy over the last half-decade or so. Instead, tonight has been a bit of a frustrating experience to this point. That could all be written off with a goal, though. That rings true for both sides. McCarthy, what was an inadvertent ball, but Pires read it and picked it up and got Manly United driving forward. Rossello with his first touch of the football. It's a good one. And there's big appeals for a penalty, and it's awarded by the referee. Jesse Pires' strike, adjudged to have been handled. The Blacktown City players can't believe it. I mentioned that a goal now would be a big moment for either side, and Manly United have been at war with the referees really all evening. Might have got the biggest decision in their favour. Mark Crittenden in discussions now, but that's all secondary to what's about to unfold from 11 metres. Harry McCarthy entrusted with the responsibility of giving Manly United a lead and potentially all 3 points. A hush has fallen over the Lucas Neal stand and Cromer as a whole. Miguel Balfour can't watch. He's leaning over the railing on the near side. Manly United fans hoping that Harry McCarthy has the stomach. Tristan Prendergast is Blacktown City's last line of defence here. Silence as McCarthy steps up and scores! An eruption of blue joy. And that might have sealed all 3 points for the hosts. 5 minutes to go. But Blacktown City have struggled to create consistent opportunities in this second half, and they're going to have to find something if they want to take anything away here. McCarthy's second goal of the season. It's rather less spectacular than his first here on the opening day. And Levi Kay was just dribbling the ball back from halfway, and now Svilagoy's getting into some afters with Nick O'Brien. There's been a substitute from Blacktown City. Get you the details of that in a moment. Levi Kay, I mentioned the gamesmanship that's been going on from both teams in this second half. Blacktown City had the ball down on halfway, ready to restart, and as Levi Kay came back from the celebration, he just knocked the ball back towards Manly United's goal. So, conversation now between Chris Hughes and Jackson Mackey. A red card would be quite something. And Levi Kay has escaped a booking. The patience of the officials tonight has been of note. Well, Blacktown City might be energised by that. Let's hope that Kay hasn't antagonised them too far and given them a second wind here. Rubino Waratife is on. Svilagoy wrestling his way in front of the Blacktown City player up there. Ball hoisted high up into the air. Anywhere out of their own half is fine for Manly United now. And Svilagoy, not for the first time in this second half, is down. Clutching something. I'm not quite sure what. Joey Gibbs, who's cut a frustrated figure all night, is understandably so now. Bilal Belkadi once again at the centre of the discussions afterwards. And Svilagoy is okay to return to his feet without the attention of a physio. Some frustrated shouts from Blacktown City fans scattered around Cromer Park. The crowd have taken on some of the character of what's been happening out in the middle. Little flashpoints like this have been constant across the 90 minutes. Fitting perhaps that it might be a Harry McCarthy penalty that's all to separate these two. Waratife trying to change that. His first real touch. Cross was blocked by Fox initially, and then I think it was Campbell getting... No, in fact, it was Joey Gibbs getting his foot to the ball. His wasn't the last touch, though. Jesse Perez going with him. And now Manly United, even from a defensive corner, quite against convention. We're going to make a double sub here, and it's going to be McCarthy. Who didn't win the penalty, but converted it for his second goal of the season. That's 2-2 for him at home this year. His night's work is done. It's down to his defenders to try and make the difference. Saxon Hillier impressive again in a physical battle in midfield tonight. Stood up remarkably well, the 19-year-old. Couple of replacements. Another youngster in Zain Alawalia. This ball's whipped in, and it's a very dangerous one. Perez across to cover. The other is a debut for Oliver Burton, and the decision is a goal kick, which Blacktown City cannot believe. Players and coaches united in their protests, and now the decision has been changed. It will be another corner, and now it's Manly's turn to protest. A little bit of a miscommunication there between the referee and his assistant on the near side, I think. Blacktown won't care because they've got what they wanted. Another corner. Malia's ball, another dangerous one. Again, Pires is there. He's been heroic in his efforts in the second half. Belcardi winning the scraps. Turned around by Blacktown. Majors drifted into a free space. And that's a good ball for Campbell. Campbell again is scrambled in. Ruben Aoratife claiming the final touch. And Blacktown City might have stolen a point. What is it against Lachlan Campbell headers against Manly United? This one sets up the equaliser rather than scoring it. Ruben Aoratife, the grateful party. Not his prettiest goal by any stretch, but they all count, and that's all that matters for Blacktown. And I mentioned their opening game of the season last year, which finished in this scoreline with a Harry McCarthy goal. It was his first back at Manly United that night. His goal tonight not enough for the 3 points. Manly are going to have to find something else. 5 minutes have already been indicated to be added on by the fourth official, Thomas Dale. You expect we'll get a minute or so on top of that now after the goal. Prendergast to launch it forward for Blacktown, who've been dragged into the scrap tonight. They've been right up for it, and they get their rewards late. Of course, late drama between these two is consistent rather than unusual. And Blacktown City are feeling that they can go on and claim all 3 points. Manly's goal was against the run of play. There was no doubt about that, but they were having a little period where they managed to get more of the ball down the end they wanted in the second half. You just wonder how all the fire under this game has perhaps encouraged the visitors. That's not to say they don't have character, because they do, and they show it consistently. Had to last weekend when they were put down to 10 men and had to hold on to a 3-0 lead, which they nearly let slip late. Header from Svilagoy for Kikaris. Aluwalia. Lovely touch from Rossello, who was dragged down. Belcardi again running forward. Can he find the finish this time? Held up. There's numbers there. It's Rossello! Inches away. The rebound from Pires. Also glances across the face of goal and wide. What drama we have had here this evening. A game that has taken on 1,000 faces over the course of the 90 minutes. Nearly took on another. Manly nearly had another late goal against Blacktown City at Cromer. Not to be. Free kick goes Manly's way for a handball. Joey Gibbs. Difficult night continues, and now Aoratife is really getting in the face of Aluwalia, who wanted to get the ball back, and the Blacktown City striker goes in the book. And then Manly wanted to take it quickly. It's all getting a little bit fractious again. Joey Gibbs perhaps let off the hook by the fact the referee wasn't ready for play to be restarted. Third booking of the night for Blacktown City by my count. Aganovic just happy to launch it forward. Misjudged by everybody. It's bounced for Belcardi. Kikaris wide of him. Sliding to block very well was Nick O'Brien, who kept the ball in play and allowed Mitch Malia to clear. Svilagoy wins the ball upfield. Cronin's ball for Kikaris. The call is just to get it across. It's always going to be difficult running back towards his own goal. Lynch with the initial touch, but it's not cleared the danger. On debut tonight is Oliver Burden. What a game to be making your debut in. Clever touch from him, though. Found Belcardi. Jesse Perez with a captain's armband on, won the penalty. Was stopped in his tracks as he made a winding run towards the Blacktown penalty area. Danger still not clear for the visitors. Manly looking to go one more time. Fox hoists it in. Oh, Bernie let it bounce. That wasn't the advisable option. Kakaris without too much support. That's a well-timed challenge from Mitch Marley, using all of his experience to get back and help out his defenders. Cronin, Fraganovic and Fox. A wild end to this one, but both teams running out of time. Aluwalia, the 5 minutes allotted are up, but I'm expecting another minute or two. Manly have it down the wrong end. As Filagoy launches, there are willing runners, but it's out of their reach. And the referee's whistle brings all the drama to an end. A terrific watch for the neutrals that went all the way down to the wire. Both teams struck the crossbar. Both teams missed good opportunities early in the match. Harry McCarthy thought he'd won it from the penalty spot after Jesse Perez's strike was handled in the Blacktown Siddle penalty area. He scored, but so did Ruben Owatife. His first goal of the season, the equaliser from the knockdown off Lachlan Campbell's head. A thoroughly entertaining Wednesday night clash between two teams who are continuing to serve up entertaining games every time they meet. It's been a pleasure to bring it to you on the Football New South Wales YouTube page tonight. Alex Bolchanoff signing off from Cromer Park, where it has finished. Manly United 1, Blacktown City 1.